Yeah, that's the latest one.
That's supposed to be a cool place. That's the newest one.
Yeah, the latest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much did you bring?
I drove from Jersey. We drove
No.
up there in
You
'87
brought your cars in your book.
from Jersey. I was there 6 weeks. I was down on the Barrens in '87 on the Senate morning. Then 91.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been there 4 times. Fine, I guess.
All right.
You gotta go.
It's definitely worth it.
Dave's first.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, crazy. I've never been there.
5:32.
The guy used to be for credit. He had a
Well,
instead I got podium. Nice.
let me just take the attendance really quick. All right, getting started. Okay. Got all of our names in attendance written down. Is there any conflicts of interest for today's meeting?
No, but I do have an addition to the agenda,
Okay.
about a grant.
Oh, is that
that-
the, yes, I'm assuming that's for planning, like for the, we can talk about it, because I also saw the email
Yeah, okay.
that, Sharon sent out. So I'll say, the grant. Okay. Any other additions?
Dates from 23rd, and we got down here.
Previous minutes, meeting minutes.
Oh, so, all right, let's go back to the, minutes from last month. So corrections was the date is wrong, is that what it is?
Just on the agenda. It said approve July 16th.
Oh,
And it's the minutes.
so the agenda.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, can I see that? Is it at the, this was what the, oh, I was thinking the select, let's put this, that was the date of the select board meeting, wasn't it?
I think.
Um,
But we were June 11th.
yeah. If you're gonna play with the cards like that, can you play with it on the floor? You can still play with them just on the floor. Okay. All right, so with the correction of the agenda to be made, does anyone want a motion to approve the minutes from from June?
I'll make a motion
Okay,
for the minutes from June.
Second.
okay. And yes, I also do. I'm gonna need you to sit up and do something. Cause we talked about this already, okay? Okay. So moving on to this month's agenda. Our new member, or
We have to get that.
that it's recording, but let's. Okay. So we have our 3 candidates that put in for interest of joining the Elmore Planning Commission. And so they will go through and kind of just tell us about themselves. And then after that, we will vote to go into an executive session and we can discuss, and then we will vote to come out of executive session and give our recommendation. We'll make our formal recommendation for the select board. Sound good? Okay. Who wants to go first? I think I got, I was gonna say, I either got Betsy's or Brian's first. So one of you, if you just wanna, so we'll just.
I think Betsy was first. So just to keep some notes here.
Yeah.
So we, switch up the order on three different things. So Betsy, then Brian, then Warren, in the order that I think we got your emails. You want to just tell us of your experience?
Well, can we first, since, you know, we're all interested in the same thing, can you, I mean, I know the basics of when the meetings are,
Mhm.
you know, and all that, but what are the responsibilities?
You've been on longest. You wanna tell-
Um, uh, so we in the, it kind of like, it always seems like there's like random things that pop up. I mean, other than just kind of general helping like plan for the town, like doing the town plan every years. And we're going to be starting up with the zoning bylaws with the zoning administrator. So going through those. Other things that we've done is kind of in between those are like big years that happen. In between, there's things that we've done, like we have met with people about gosh, I'm trying to think the right words. When like about the like wastewater, about um different property in town that we've had the opportunity to, there was like a little plot, like an acre of land that we were able to um get from the state, and just kind of what we want to do with it, or and when we had one long-term goal we have kind of is with the area around the new town garage. There's no funding and no plan for this yet, but eventually, what do we want that? What does the town want that to develop into, if anything? And so just kind of like things in the town that come up that need to be like looked into, or
That's what it seems like to me. You do the deep dive on regulations and grants and stuff like that. And then you make recommendations through your plans and working with, like, you're gonna work with the zoning officer.
Mhm.
And then, but the select board then votes on those plans that you guys came up with. Right?
Correct.
After lots of public meetings and all that, yeah,
Yeah, everything
Okay.
we do, we're not a
you're advised.
board, we're an advisory. Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's anything from like townspeople that comes forward that they want to do, or like that they like projects they would want, or um like wellness things, like we kind of did, we started out by with the Elmore 5K, some of us in the we started that kind of like putting that together for the town. Now it kind of is like run outside of the planning commission. So just um
Something like dark sky.
yeah, like doing the that's one thing that like a pet project of mine is going for the dark sky um community. So there's just some things like that.
Yeah.
Just how we want the town to move.
That was my perception of it, but I just wanted to hear what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And like I said, there's always seems like there's something like random that comes up
yeah.
and needs figuring out. So
All right. So, well, my name is Betsy Perez. I've lived in Elmore permanently since 2009, but I've been around since 2004. I'm not retired from my job as a physician, but I only work 1 week a month. So I have time. And I had noted that a couple of, you know, that there were positions open on this board. And obviously, you all know there's been stuff happening in our neighborhood that kind of got me thinking I have to get more involved. Because I shouldn't be just relying on other people to help me out when I've got a problem. You know, I should be helping out other people when maybe they have a problem or coming up with solutions. So that's basically why I want to be on the board. And I'm really interested in the previous town plan as well as this one, how much emphasis there is put on recreation, maintaining, you know, our way of life in Elmore, you know, a good mix of what we've got in Elmore. And you know, the meetings that I've been able to attend now that I've got time, I just find it just really encouraging. Even though there's been tension, it's really encouraging that people get together and talk about this stuff. Because if we don't do it, it's just going to be not a disaster, but it won't be going the way the people that live here want it to go. So that's why I'm interested.
You want to talk a little bit just about your experience and,
In life?
yeah.
Okay, I've been an outdoors woman since I was 1 year old. Grew up in San Diego, learned to swim in the ocean, was a rower all through my teenagehood and into my 20s and 30s, a rowing coach. Went to med school, became a doctor, became a surgeon, had 2 kids. We moved to Vermont specifically to raise our children because Vermont was the place to raise kids. And then started working for Copley Hospital in 2001, and opened my own practice in 2017. So I'm also a business person. So I did all of that for 9 years. I like to hike. I like to cross country ski. I don't hunt, but I like to eat food that other people hunt. If you want to give it to me. I like to kayak. I'm the volunteer now that John is gone for the Hardwood Flats Pond for the loons, which we do have a baby chick right now. Well, not so babyish now,
Oh.
Just my whole life I got more and more and more rural, and now I live in Elmore, 3 miles up a dirt road, Hardwood Flats. So
I resonate with that. I grew up in Nevada and spent a lot of time in California and now live 4 miles up a dirt road.
Yeah. It's hard for me to go back to San Diego. My family is.
Oh,
It's great. You look at the ocean, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's so loud. I can't take it. After about 5 days, I have to leave.
understandable.
Okay.
Any other questions or?
We can come back if you think of something else. Brian, you want to go?
Sure. So my name is Brian Evans Munchin. I was born in the other state of Vermont called Chittenden County. Not quite San Diego like, but from Vermont standards, it is. It's that other side of the state. Grew up in Chittenden County, but spent all but 3 years of my life in Vermont. I spent 2 years in Colorado Springs, 1 in Boston. But since I graduated from UVM in Vermont Technical College, so born and raised here. Family's been here the entire time. Anyways, from a working perspective, I have had a variety of jobs dealing with telephone and computers, as well as electricity. Since 1987, I worked in the electric industry. Spent almost 20 years there working for either Green Mountain Power or Vermont Public Power Supply Authority for the municipal utilities in the state of Vermont. At which time I have left VAPA and formed my own international consulting company. And did that for 13 years and then sold the business and then retired this past 8 months. So during all that time, I've lived mostly in longest town, or the town that I've lived in the longest is Waterbury. Moved there in 81 and basically still partially live there, even though this year my wife and I have declared Elmore to be our town of residence. So we have filed all the formal documentation with the state of Vermont. We're still waiting for them to sign off on it. But we have, 2018, we purchased a place on Camp Road. And for the last 8 years, we have been renovating that in some fashion or form. Basically, I think with the exception of the outside framing structure, have replaced virtually everything else. So, in my time in Waterbury, I have been on the school board, the planning commission there. I did that for a number of years. I've also worked in the Village of Hyde Park, where I was an interim zoning administrator. I was involved with the town plans back in the day in Waterbury as well as Hyde Park, and to a lesser extent this year with the Elmore town plan. So I have some familiarity with that. My entire life has, as far as work, has been in the area of regulatory compliance. So when you take a look at planning and zoning and trying to establish rules and regulations that people have to abide by on how to move forward, recognizing that there has to be compliance to those requirements. Most of my professional career has been related to regulatory compliance activities. So, and like I said, I've been involved with developing town plans, zoning. Hyde Park just last year went through some slight modifications of its zoning regulations. So I played a hand in part of that, including the development of the new zoning district for the village of Hyde Park and what that required. So, from a perspective of all that, I believe that my background and experience lends itself to being a suitable, person to be potentially a commissioner for the town of Elmore.
So if you, you can go like, Hyde Park if you weren't a resident there, so you can, non-residents can get involved in,
Well, I was the village manager for a period of 2 years.
oh,
And under that jurisdiction, I oversaw the involvement of the working with the town, because it was a joint municipal plan between the town and the village. And so we were involved with developing that town plan.
Right, thank you.
Happy to address some other questions.
Warren,
Warren West, I've lived in Elmore since '99, that's 27 years. Recently got active when I retired as in my healthcare career, so I've been actively involved in the town of Elmore. When I review the position overview, if you will, I looked at the criteria: strategic planning, land use, economic development, town planning, public engagement, strong ties to Elmore, town government, analytic skills, communication skills, understanding the intersection of a town plan and town bylaws, and state statutes of governing towns. The one criteria that I don't think was listed there that I think is really resonating with me to get involved is my passion for Elmore, my passion about public engagement, and most importantly, my passion about moving Elmore into the future, but protecting the reasons we've all moved here and protecting Elmore. When I think about the criteria, based on my education, work experience, and town government experience, I believe I meet all of the criteria. My education, I have a bachelor's degree in public service administration, where I concentrated in town and municipal management. There we studied land use, economic development, town planning, town governance, and the intersection of town plans and bylaws. I also have an MBA in corporate finance, which really helps me with the analytical skills you're looking for a person to assume this position. My town government experience, I've had 3 years on the Board of Adjustments in Fanwood, New Jersey, prior to moving to Vermont. I have 3 years experience on the select board. I understand conflict of interest, town plans, open meeting laws, and most of all the other laws governing town governance in Vermont. In my work experience as a rural hospital CEO, I had many years where I worked with local towns and the select board, the planning commission, and the zoning commission when we needed to expand our buildings. So I have an owner representative experience on how bylaws work and how they play out to the public who are applying for project applications. So that sort of was piggyback on the work I did in my bachelor's degree. Also, my hospital experience involved and engaged the public constantly about plans that we were thinking about for the community, and how we engage the public and how we understand what they wanted and how we could adapt our plans to their needs. Also, as CEO of Rural Hospital, I was the chief planning officer. So we planned for new facilities, workforce, new services, equipment, budgeting. So we have all those skills that can be brought to the table. I think you all know that I can be an active communication person on front page forum. And those posts got a lot of people to attend and engage in the community. And I think when I think about board experience, I've been on a number of boards with all sorts of organizations, not just hospitals. The number one thing I'll take away from board experience when you've been on a board is that when a board makes a decision, no matter what side of that decision you're on, all board members need to support that decision as you move forward. And you need to be unified. And that is my one takeaway about board experience. So that's a brief overview. I know I put all this in the documents to you guys. The last thing I want to say, and this is separate from my application, is I want to thank and commend you guys, because as long as I can remember, there's been openings in town committees and town spots, and they've never been so publicly advertised as this one has been. Usually it's just, we'll pick somebody who's been attending, or we'll pick somebody who we know. It's the first time I've seen that I can remember in living in Elmore, that you actually actively advertised and solicited applicants. I want to thank you for that. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank all of you. Yes.
Do you guys have any questions for us? Or does anybody else?
Well, I came here to throw my hat in the ring, but I didn't submit a letter of interest. And seeing as though you have more applicants than available seats, I don't know if you're entertained a fourth contender.
Well, we thought there was gonna be 26, so I don't see why we can't listen.
What are your thoughts, Nancy?
Do the three of you have any objection to that?
No,
Mm,
no, you're either, Mateo.
I guess so.
Because we want to keep this fair and.
Right, right.
Right, yeah, that's much for it. I didn't know that we felt like there'd be nobody here. Well, Collins. Hey, I've been here, I've been in this position before.
Sure, sure.
Allow it, okay, well.
Yeah,
thank you.
if everyone's okay with it.
Thank you all for allowing me to come at the last minute. So my name is Colin Reynolds. I live in the beautiful rural west of Elmore.
How do you spell your last name?
Reynolds, Rynolds. And listening to all of you speak, you all have a wealth of qualifications and degrees and things of that nature, and I can speak to my experiences and my relative experience for this job. But what I want to highlight most is the reason why I want to do it. I've listened to many speeches and campaign pitches for the select board, the planning commission, and you get a lot of lists of why people could do it. But very rarely do people say why they don't. And for me, the biggest issue here in this town is I want to see Elmore move forward in a progressive and I don't want to use the word controlled, but intentional way, right? To be stuck in some ideal world that's not adapting to the outside forces that we all experience. That's not good. We can't plant our feet. We have to move. But we can't just say, okay, well, let's be reactive to this. And so identifying the issues that we face and moving through those in a way that meets the needs of the people that live here now and the people that will live here in the future, not just those. You know, I have, as I see things progressing in this town, I have deep concerns about affordability and accessibility and gentrification, all this stuff. This is something, you know, that not just here, but statewide. And I think that, think that having an open table for all voices to come and discuss these things is extremely important. As far as qualifications and things like that, I've been on this board in the past. I served 2 years on the Elmore Planning Commission. I stopped because I became a father. Now my kids are a little bit older and I feel like I have to do more time to give back. I feel like all of the workload and involvement here on the commission, I feel like I can for that in a responsible way. You know, I've lived in Vermont my whole life, born and raised, so my parents and parents before them. I'm educated here. I have degrees from Vermont Tech. I'm civil engineering degree from Vermont Technical College, and I have a political science degree from Johnson State College, which is why I came to Vermont in the first place. You know, I work now as a project manager about the dimensional cut stone industry. I have technical expertise in, you know, reading plans and anything to do with lots of civil engineering things. It's technical work. You know, the list goes on, I suppose. So to pitch myself today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Or questions from the other applicants as well.
Oh,
Sorry,
Colin.
I'm sorry. My apologies. I feel very much the same way as you relative to a number of aspects. And part of the reason why I'm looking forward to being a part of the commission, if you guys will so advocate. I'm very concerned about the fact that state mandates are causing for an horrendous amount of cost shifting. And as a result of that cost shifting, we are making Elmore unaffordable, except for a very, very few people. And we can't do that. We have to take a look at the entirety of the town plan. You know, take a look at the goals and the objectives and the recommendations. And we have to re-examine and reset some of those to make it more of a outlook as to how we want and need our infrastructure and our facility to be able to serve down the road in an affordable manner. And that can, I know that this is probably going to, again, not make some people very happy, but we have to take a look at somehow bringing about commercial and light industrial concerns into this area, because those properties are going to pay a better rate on taxes that is going to overall help the community by adjusting taxes, because that base load, just like we've done in electric rates and water rates and all of this, and we have to take a look at the water system incomes. We have to take a look at the other infrastructure. And we need to sit down with all these folks and take a look at all of these elements to try to figure out how can you best serve going forward. And, you know, that includes the possibility that we have to establish some level of commercialization and industrialization to help bring in taxes that will reduce the impact across the rest of the community. We've got to be affordable across all income classes. And yeah, we've got to make this work, because otherwise we're just going to price ourselves out. We got to stop that. We've got to stop that mechanism, or at least hedge it in such a manner that we can make it work. I applaud your comment.
Betsy, just to go on way back to your initial question. In the town plan, there are goals and there are, and so we look at these too. We don't just write it and then wait for 8 years to,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, so we always have something like you just reminded, work on that we've laid out in there. So, it's not the intense every 8 years, but we have plenty to do in the interims. Circle back to you. Do you have any more you want to add?
No, I mean, you folks saw it with me, and I've been on boards also, I know Robert's rules of orders, I mean, that's all important stuff in a way, because, you can get bogged down in stuff. On meetings, but, no, I mean, I think, feel very similar. That's why we're sitting here, want to maintain, the character of the area, but also have, I've got 4 grandchildren. I would love to be able to move in here someday. And right now, that ain't looking good. COVID kicked our butts.
Warren and Colin, everybody's had, these two have had a second chance to speak. Want a second chance to,
I think I'm good.
and Warren?
I think I've said my piece, I know.
Just gonna say yes to my friends here, that we do need to consider other things, but public servant, in my opinion, needs to serve the public. Only way we can do that is. So before we go down any roads, we need to make sure the citizens of Belmar are with us. That way our plans can be stronger and people can be behind us.
Well, I am excited that we've had so many great candidates. That is very refreshing and lovely. So thank you all for being here. Colin, are you on right where Elmore Mountain Road in Churchill? Okay.
Yes, he
With the
is.
corgi, right?
With the corgi.
Yeah.
That's right, it's us.
We don't want neighbors buying our dogs.
Okay, unless does anybody have any other questions?
We had an alternate. That's where I was,
Right.
then Glenn left, so we got enough for an alternate here, right?
And that's what I was gonna check with the select board about, so,
You have 4 spots, maybe, potentially.
well, because we're a 5-member board. And we have, at one point we were 5 members, and then we had an alternate as well.
One member, yeah,
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we had
Okay.
started at 6, and then I went to work in the woods, so I became an alternate.
Right, so I think we'll just have to double check with so I think
Yep. You might want to check with the Vermont Town of Legion citizens, because when you read anything they produced, it doesn't mention anything about alternates. It talks about a 5-member board.
Yeah.
And it talks
That's what I-
about a chair. So you might want to check with them,
right,
because I know Carolyn at one point said, oh, wait, they can't have 6, even with an alternate. When I was on the select board, when they did assign it.
most boards are odd
So
numbers.
I would just check before you go down that. side
Yeah.
here.
yeah, I think we'll do that. And, but until then, we'll go into our, what we'll do now is, we'll vote to go into our executive session, and we'll discuss anything that we have left to discuss. And then we'll come out, and if you guys, you can't stay in here, but you can come back, or we can let the select board let you know.
Bingo.
I know, bingo tonight, and we'll put our recommendation into the select board, and then they will take it from there. Sound good?
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
not just this time.
Thanks
but,
for coming in.
All
Can I
right,
make a motion to go into executive session.
sure. Hold on, let me write it down.
Not off to.
Right down.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
Does anybody second? I second.
I second. All right. Yeah.
Sure, you can. Okay.
and we gotta,
And then I was okay, Mateo, enough.
hey, we are out of executive session. We have discussed these four candidates that all bring good qualifications, good information. And it was not an easy decision. But the recommendation moving forward to the select board will be to recommend Betsy and Brian for the two open positions on the select board or on the planning commission.
Surprise. Yeah, based on the information that was provided during their initial emails and their information during the discussion, I would like to make a motion of what Nancy said, the formal recommendation to the select board for the two candidates of Betsy and
Right.
Brian. But we will forward all of their information along to the select board, including Collins. We can give them some of our notes that we collected. And then the select board
Has the final decision.
it has this final decision, and they can have more information on an alternate selection too. Does anybody second my motion?
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. Oh, it's not really an addition at this point because we can talk about it for the next one. My work schedule is changing in August, but it won't affect us until like November. But would moving the meetings to a Wednesday be a possibility versus a Thursday?
Yeah,
Select board's usually on.
yeah, but select board second and this is,
Okay, we can bring it up on the next one too, but I just kind of wanted to give the heads up on that. That my work schedule will be changing a little bit, so. And do we want to meet in August? In the past, we have not met in August. I don't know, as far as with the bylaws coming up, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to gather more information. Me and you will have to gather more information to see if we like what the timeline is for that, and if we have oh, that goes back to the grant thing.
yeah.
So let's find out, do you know what, because it was like a one-liner from Sharon's email. It was like this grant. And so I was gonna reach out to Glenn because I think he knows more about it. And it's probably for the planning because I know like LCPC, don't we get a grant and that's how we get help from Megan.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the bottom part's the only.
Yeah. So I'll reach out to Glenn and ask because I have a feeling he knows, or maybe I can just reach out to Megan on here, Megan Rodier, um, and see what this was for. And
So Megan
We
will
use-
be part of the zone,
I don't know if she does zoning or not. I don't know if she's the person for that.
so Charlie will be,
I know Charlie is definitely going to be involved. Um, let's see. So I guess we just need to decide if we want to meet one, two,
What if,
the third Thursday in August is August 20th.
the new members will be on at the next select board meeting, they'll make a decision.
Yes.
if we did not meet in August, can we like have some homework time? Just for everybody to familiarize them, with the town plan and the bylaws, just to, so that in September when we do meet, we're ready to kind of hit the ground more running.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Is there a book or something on these bylaws?
I'm sure Sandra will copy it off.
So that we can be kind of studying it.
Yeah,
Okay, let me. So let's say no meeting in August, but have the EPC
I've been teaching. So
members and new members study up the bylaws and town plan to hit the ground running in September. Sound good?
Mhm.
Okay. Um,
Ready to.
okay, so the next one will be September 17th.
Oh. Gonna be in Alabama.
Um,
Get the next week.
you'll be gone. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, unless I come back. I could come back the 16th probably.
Why don't we just have it the following week?
Oh. Is that,
I might have to look if we're doing it on a Thursday still. That might not work. Mateo, I need you to wait. Sorry. If we did it on a Wednesday, it doesn't matter which Wednesday. But if we stick to Thursday, I think I need to do the 17th. But
Let's do it on a Wednesday the following week.
so no, I've been focusing. Um, so if we did or we can say TBD, to be honest. Like the 23rd, September 23rd would be the 4th September, the 4th Wednesday.
Yeah.
So let's put that as the tentative.
5:30 still.
Yeah.
And I really think that you're going on your second year, right? Or beyond. I
Yeah.
really don't see how a new person could sit up there and
No, I think if we didn't do it, I think it would have to be a bit of time.
yeah. But if you did a double like Bruce and Sharon. I
well,
think
if you're
that's-
willing,
I think it's-
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Grant amount.
Because a new person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other attachments? I can put in the one from the about the grant. I've got the attendance. So I think that's all we need for attachments. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I motion to end.
A second.
Okay.
So I have a hard time getting you're gonna ask Sharon or Sandra if there's any intel on the bylaws.
yeah.